Okay, welcome to True Tall Tales, where reality is stranger than fiction. I have two special guests. Yep, you heard it, a three-way, my first three-way. I have Liam and Dan, two important people in my life that I'm excited about to coming onto my podcast today. Welcome to the show, Liam. Welcome to the show, Dan. Clap, 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 clap. You're welcome. Now, we wanted to, as we know, podcasts have been around not for that long, and we've all realized that they're going to be timestamped. So today's date is, you're both intelligent. What's today's date?
23rd of July.
23rd of July, 2025. So anyone
You've
in 50...
passed your first quiz, Dan.
50 years from now, when anyone listens to this episode, it will be timestamped of how it is to live in today's world of being 2025. That is today's episode. That's right? That's our episode.
Yeah, I don't know why people would want to listen to that. It's not like there's much going on at all.
Is that sarcasm? Yes, okay, I'm really bad at sarcasm. But yeah, so, whoops, we've lost Liam. Oh my God, we've lost Liam. What has he done? Liam, come on. What are you doing?
He's back.
Oh yeah, he's back. Oh my God.
Living in today's world, I dropped out 30 seconds in, so we're off to a good start.
All right, so that's okay. I can edit that in. So basically, today's episode with Dan and Liam, it's about timestamp. What's it like to live in 2025? As Dan said before, there's not a lot going on. He was being sarcastic. And so, yeah, anyone can start with their brain. Anything they want to talk about.
Before we jump into today, I'm just going to fact check you on your previous podcast where you said you'd never got a fine before.
Yes.
Technically, that could be true, but I've got a true tall tale for you, Sonny boy. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
If you rewind back to maybe 15 years ago when we lived on Bondi Road.
Yes.
And there was two video stores that were on Bondi Road.
Oh.
And we were members of both. And one of us as a housemate was notorious for being late. And the other one was notorious for returning videos on time, even if that meant tracking.
Wait, you're saying videos. They weren't videos, it was DVDs.
Oh, DVDs.
Oh my God. It was DVD.
And I insisted that we rewind the VHS before we returned it.
It was DVDs, yes.
DVDs. Okay, well, you're fact checking me on my fact check, so that's fair call. Anyway, when we moved from Bondi Road to North Bondi, down the hill, one of us, not going to name names, forgot to return two DVDs.
It would have been
me.
You,
Sonny. That was
I know.
you, but it was on my account. And
I do remember this because my account would have been maxed out from having late fees. So I started using your account. That's what you do to your housemates and your bestie.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going. No, because I know where this story is going and it's good. It's actually good. Wow.
And then, we're living our life on North Bondi, still, partying. And then maybe a year in, I get a phone call from a debt collector. I owe $2,000. $2,000, Sonny, when I've never copped a fine in my life. Anyway,
Neither have I.
Luckily, like you, I'm nice to big with customer service. And I said to this guy, how can I owe $2,000? And he goes, have you ever rented Deja Vu? And I said, no, I don't really watch trashy action.
Denzel Washington, love him. But anyway, yeah, go on.
Tell me more.
That was a real thinking person's film. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I said, tell me more. And he said, well, you borrowed the DVDs and didn't return them. And I said, to the shop that doesn't exist anymore. And he said, oh yeah, the shop's been closed down for over nearly a year. And I said, so I'm getting a $2,000 fine for DVDs that I probably have in my house that I can't physically return. And the guy's like, oh yeah, I think you've got a pretty good point there. And I said, how much was the initial fine? And he said $50, but this was a debt collector. It had gone to the debt collector. And I said, so you've let it rack up to $2,000 before you made the phone call to me? And he's like, oh yeah, another fair point. And I said, can you just check your records? Because when I signed up for that account, I didn't have a credit card. And if you didn't have a credit card, you had to pay $50 cash in credit that you could collect when you close your account. And I said, "You're calling me over a $50 fine when I paid $50 in advance that I didn't collect from a shop that no longer exists for a DVD that was rented for $1 initially, that was for sale for $5 in the bargain bin." And he's like, "Wow, you've got a really good memory." And I'm like, "I can fact check everything." And I said, "How are we going to do this? Do I really have to pay $2,000?" Because then I added, "Can I just say that the DVD was rented on a fraudulent account that the staff used to know was fraudulent, but because they wanted to work for a record label that my housemate worked for, they tried to suck up and let him borrow DVDs on my account. So do I countersue for fraud?" When like someone used my account, and he's like, "Oh no, we don't want to do that." And I said, "How about you just keep the $50 cash that was already kept by the business that's now gone broke because people stream, and we'll call it even," which the guy agreed. But I actually went on to like my is it Services New South Wales to
Yeah.
check my fines, and literally the only fine that I have is a $1,490 fine, like, which was initially $50, which shows that I owed zero. So the only fine I've ever got in my life, Sonny, was from you borrowing Deja Vu from dying DVDs. So yeah, that was my true tale. So when you said
Unbelievable.
last week that you've never had a fine, Sonny, still technically true because it was under my name, but yeah, that was your fault, Sonny boy.
I do apologize about that. I think I did apologize because you walked through the door like, "Sonny, what have you done to my account?" So I do remember it. My brain is releasing those memories now. And just to add to that story, and then we'll bring you in, Dan, is I do remember, what was the name of that video store? We're not saying the name of the video store. No, we're not saying the name.
It wasn't the major chain that
Civic.
starts with, it was Civic. Yeah, it
Civic, yeah.
wasn't.
So Civic DVD video. Now, before that happened, before I started putting stuff on your file, because what happens is I always hide something, and then if you don't bring it back the next day, you get a late fee, which everyone knows. That's how it works in those DVD stores, right? So I'd keep it for a week, as you did, because you lived in Bondi. Not that I wanted to watch it again. I was just too lazy to walk across the road because, back in those days, I was in like my 20s and you're just lazy. But the fine that I got, remember, was and the movie that ended up, I got so many fees, maybe like $200 worth of fees for not bringing back because it was underneath the couch because we had house parties at our house all the time, was The Queen, the movie The Queen, which I was really embarrassed about, which is actually a really good film. I don't know why I'm embarrassed, but I was embarrassed, and they're like, "It's for the movie The Queen." And then Liam and I went to hire a DVD across the road, and yes, I used to work for a band and a record label, and the person who worked at the DVD store knew who I was from working with that band, being in their music video clips and what so. And then she said, "No problems, I'll wipe your fees." And she wiped all my fees, but then I racked up the fees again. So you were there.
On my account.
Yeah, and started putting it on your account. So yes, I have had, I guess, yeah, you know what it's like to have a fine. I'm like you, Liam. I've never had fines. So when you heard my previous episode with Dan, when I got that fine, it was real, but yeah, anyway, it is what it is. So at least we haven't had driving fines or anything, or...
But wait, if we're keeping score over the past 2 episodes, isn't that your 3rd fine?
What do you mean?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Well, no, because it was on Liam's account.
Yeah, so
But
this
those-
one's actually my fine.
No, but those fines that I've got are clearly like fines that you get in your 20s, like not returning a DVD. Well, I reckon the whole population has got fines on doing that.
True.
Secondly, my other fine of me...
Not me, that was my only one.
Okay, not you. My other fine, Dan, about me not voting. Well, I wasn't in the country or what so, and how many people get that? Like, and you know what I mean? So they're not real fines. And then the actual fine where, like, look what I got for you, and I was doing a wee where the police officer caught me. Well, that is a proper fine for urinating in public, but I was in the bushes in Bondi. So that technically is a real fine, but I wasn't really doing anything wrong, but I was, if you get what I mean. Or is that what people say when they're guilty?
Yeah, kind of. But
You hit a grey area. It's
Yeah.
very grey.
but also the I understand your point. Like a video store fine is not on the same level as a government issued fine.
No.
Yeah.
Especially for the...
collector.
Especially
I
for
mean,
the...
that is pretty serious.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to jail for that. Like,
But I do recall, Sonny, when we did have the heated conversation about it, I said, next time if you're going to get late fees for me. Can it at least be a cool movie? Like, could it be like Kill Bill 1 or Donnie Darko or something that
And
we
did
were
I-
like into at the time? And you were
Liam,
like, I'm sorry.
Did I not making it up to you when you were there in the house in Bondi and I walk through the door and I go, look what I got for you. Not look what I got for you, but look what I got for you. And I brought in and I won Sony PlayStation 2 that played Blu-ray, and you and I were obsessed with Blu-rays instead of
no.
DVD. It was after DVD, like Blu-ray, like Michael Jackson's dad.
That's right.
Everybody want to buy Blu-ray.
Why? What was the difference between Blu-ray and DVD?
Good question. Liam would probably say it better, but it's just better quality, kind of like how you watch VHS going from DVD. You can see the difference.
This is another tall tale. So we won the Blu-ray. Sony won the Blu-ray. Finally, we had like good technology. Was it a PlayStation or an Xbox?
It was a Sony
anyway?
PlayStation 2, yeah.
It was one of them. Anyway, so we'd start paying.
So, and was this pre-internet?
No,
we were just we were poor and we didn't have internet.
No, so that's what I meant, like pre-internet at the house.
Yeah, we were poor.
Yeah.
So we didn't have. We were one of the last ones to have internet in the house.
Yeah, I know.
And,
I remember going to the internet cafe.
Poor, but we're living in North Bondi with the Sony PlayStation 2. Oh my god, we weren't poor, Liam, but we're just in our 20s.
We were eastern suburbs poor,
and our money just went to partying. You know what I mean?
Anyway, we were using the Blu-ray, but after 6 months, because we'd hire Blu-rays instead of DVDs, and we'd say, "Look at the quality; it's so good. Like everything's so crystal clear." And then one of the kids from the band came over one day and was like, "Do you realize you need a HDMI cable to get the high quality?" And they shouted us a HDMI cable, and then we're like, "Oh, so we've been paying more for Blu-rays, but watching it on a low resolution." So to answer your question, Dan, I don't know what the difference is between Blu-ray and DVD because I haven't got to see it.
Well, you're both blind. You both wear glasses. That's probably why you can't tell.
True.
Yeah, but no, there's a big difference. It's like going from it's like going from a cassette tape of listening to music, then listening to it in what's after CD, like digital.
Yeah, MP3.
MP3. There's a big difference. Yeah, there's a big difference.
That is
anyway.
Yeah, I still get freaked out when I look at like really high quality TVs because to me it's kind of getting to the point where it's starting to look like real life, if that makes sense. Whereas like I actually quite like that kind of aged movie look.
I know what you mean, where it looks like a movie, but when it's starting to look real, does it feel like a movie anymore? I know what you mean by that.
It feels like reality TV.
Yeah, I do know what you mean by that. But don't get me wrong, to get one of those big TVs that you see in JB Hi-Fi, that's like, what's it called? What's after HD? 4K. And now in America, it's like 6K and 8K. Oh, mate, that's next level. Like, I would love, my internet's not fast enough to do that. So that's
I don't know if we could stream that in Australia. We haven't.
I don't think we can. Right. Yeah,
I mean, the best thing we ever did was have an IMAX installed in our lounge room.
An IMAX installed in your lounge room. Are you being sarcastic again? Dan's good with the dad jokes, everyone. Dan is good with the dad jokes.
But also, like, stuff like that would surprise me either. So it was like, I went to IMAX and got a mini screen installed. It was like a one-off, and I got it cheap from someone that I know.
Hey, sidetrack. It's my job to rein it in. So this episode is about living in 2025, and all I've been talking about is my finds in the past. Should we start the episode?
No, that was me fact checking you, Sonny.
No, that was good. Good fact check. No, you're allowed to talk about anything in this podcast. So don't feel like we have to stick to the theme, but I don't think we've spoken about anything in the theme yet.
Well, like what do you think is today's equivalent of having to pay overdue fees?
I don't know, because young people these days don't seem to watch narrative media.
True. And I suppose it's monthly subscription, so it's coming out of your account anyway.
So like Netflix, like so all the streaming services for TV. TV for us was for free. If you had cable, then you're fucking rich.
True.
Well, maybe the equivalent now is being the person that owns the account that shares them, and then the late fee fine is when you get caught sharing, and it's like you've shared your password. We're about to cut you off. Yeah,
for sure. How funny that we used to have to walk the aisles of Blocky in Surrey Hills to figure out what we wanted to watch that night, and now we just get to sit on the couch and hit right on the remote control.
But it's funny you say that because walking into DVD stores, I actually liked doing that, getting the car park or walking there if you live close, and then seeing it on the wall, seeing what's like the top 10, but then other ones or the top 5. Like I guess I think there's too much now.
Yeah,
Like
well,
I sit,
actually, and even having the video store staff, like the ones at Civic who were good and cut your fines, not that they cut mine, but that's just a side story. Remember, they wouldn't let us borrow a DVD if they thought they were bad.
mm,
They were like,
good choice, good choice. One of you
choice
got good taste. Please get this out. What are you thinking? Don't
yeah,
even dare
or
watch
offer
this.
alternative, and literally they would ban us. They're like, we like you guys too much for not letting you borrow this DVD.
So funny.
That's true. I don't know. It's do we sound like how our parents talk when you sound old, where they're like, back in my day, you don't get anything like this anymore. Like, do you know what I mean? Like now we're saying it, but I do, and maybe it's the feeling we got because that's all we had by walking into a video store or a DVD store. But I did like the smell of it, the plastic, the popcorn, going in. Now I'll sit there on Netflix or whatever streaming and to find a movie with a friend to watch it, and we've been scrolling for an hour and the movie only goes for 2 hours. I'm like, oh my god, we still haven't found something. So is it good? Is it too much? And then it did start off good because we pay all this money to get it with no ads, and now these streaming services are bringing in ads when I'm already paying to not have ads.
Yes.
Great.
Which is doing my head in.
Also, like it kind of going like building off your friendly neighborhood like video store staff. Remember, like each of them used to have a staff pick section. I find it weird that none of the streaming platforms have got a section of staff picks. Like it's all algorithmic. Here are the top 10, or like here are like the top, action,
because they
horror,
keep
rom-com, whatever.
they keep firing their staff and then canceling their shows. So they can't be like staff pick because they're like, oh, that's the person you saw on the news we fired last month.
This was last week's staff pick.
But Dan and Liam, wouldn't that be kind of like, okay, so on Spotify and stuff, you've got like, it does the playlist for you and stuff from Spotify and stuff. I listen to a lot of them where it creates a playlist. It would be the same thing if Netflix said staff pick, but then is that paid? Kind of like how radio stations and stuff, right? Where it's kind of like if you're in staff pick and you're in the top 10, are people going, hey, Dan, I'll offer you money to please put this movie in the top 10 because we know millions of people around the world are going to do that because they're going to that section. So really, who's your staff member that has the power to do that?
I'd also argue who is your staff member who has the taste?
Well, interesting fact. I've got a friend who does it for Apple. I discussed this with you recently, Liam. I ran into an old friend, someone that I knew at a party in Surrey Hills. And I said, what do you do? And he's like, I work for Apple. And I was like, no way. Well, like, what store? And he goes, no, I work in the head office. I've got a cool office and stuff. It's well paid. And he's the one that creates the playlist for Apple, the ones that you see on Apple and Spotify. I was like, wow. And the first thing I said to him was, do you get people making offerings all the time? And I said, we do, but it literally, we're not allowed to take it, obviously, because it's like being bought out. So, and
well,
to answer
that's funny that's your observation for Apple, because I think if we're talking about what's it like to live now, we're currently talking about art, the value of art, who recommends it, where you actually know someone for Apple that works there and selects, where at the exact same time, Spotify is firing their human staff, investing 600 million in AI and trialing AI artists because they can make more profit from it. Not that they were paying artists enough already. So there's kind of a growing swirl at the moment, timestamp it for July 2025, where there's a movement of artists wanting their fans to quit Spotify and move to another streamer because Spotify seem to be the one that are hurting emerging artists more by now replacing it by AI. And if you see in the last few days, there's been a few pieces coming out. I forget their name, and not that I should give them a
the band
that's AI generated. That was Spotify's soft launch, and now there's a lot of nice articles being like, how good's this band that's only existed in AI, sort of soft launching it. And then you've got artists like Timberland that used to be known for being creative, who is also one of the biggest signers of AI. So someone who was known for being a pioneer in hip hop is pivoting for AI, which, can argue for it. that AI can be used to improve the artistic process, but if it's replacing it altogether, I
Mm.
think timestamping it to today, Sonny, you'll be looking back in the future and think, is this the time where people with not a lot of contacts or money are getting pushed out of the easy access of Spotify? And I'll be interested to know how they pivot to find new viewers.
I also wonder if Spotify would then set up a licensing agreement with themselves for those AI bands. So it's basically just a continuous loop.
Well, they've already cut out bands that don't get less than 2,000 streams per month don't get paid for it anyway,
Yikes.
which they'd usually get maybe 20 cents for that, if that. So now if a band doesn't get over 2,000 streams on Spotify, they don't get paid. So that's a large proportion of their
Indie band.
their indie bands. But then to contrast that with Apple, at the moment they are paying.
Wait, I've got a question. So when you guys are talking about these artists signing to be AI artists, do you mean that
No, they don't exist. They're made by an algorithm.
as
And
in like
and
they're
their
using their
appearance.
voice? They're using their voice? I'm
Everything's made
confused.
up. So they're completely
Everything's AI.
AI generated. No one exists. There's no band members, there's no musicians, there's no real instruments. It's like you tell the algorithm, make me an indie band that sounds like I don't know, like Nirvana if they released a song today, but have got the lyrics that are reminiscent of Radiohead's Kid A, and then boom, the song can be generated.
And
But
then
who's going to want that if we can't listen to them live? That
Great
doesn't make
question.
sense. Okay.
It's not about that. You're thinking about fans. You're not thinking about the business who want to make money. So at the moment, a band gets 0.003 cents per stream on Spotify if they make over 2,000 streams on that song a month. Where if you're a big band, that's not a big deal. But if you're an indie band, it is. And if they can cut out all bands and they're just getting all the revenue, so how much do you pay for Spotify? $12 a month. If they can just keep all of that or a larger proportion, that's talking billions of dollars that they're making more annually. And then you just slice those ones into your recommended playlists. So, you have your big bands that you might listen to. And then if you go, I want more music like this, and the majority of those in the future will be AI bands that don't exist, that you can't see live.
And they already know the genres that perform the best and the subgenres within those genres that have the strongest followings. Wow.
They know when you press skip, they know when you press fast forward, or they know when you press repeat.
Yeah.
Speaking of AI, how do you I like a lot of things in AI, like Chat GPT and all these things, but I feel like all the AI now is becoming faster. Like it's just becoming faster. Like when first people spoke about AI in movies and stuff, which is like 2 years ago, I'm like, we won't have it yet. And now that was here when Chat GPT, I kind of heard what that was, and I never found myself using it, but now I find myself using it every day. And now I'm scrolling on Instagram, on TikTok today, and I just don't know which videos are AI, not AI, because I'm seeing this weird shit. And everyone in the comments is like, wait, is this AI or not AI? I can't even tell the difference anymore. So people who are streaming on Instagram videos are looking at reels. Before AI, it would be such a big video because it was like something so amazing that happened that you're witnessing as a reel. But now people look at it and go, this is probably just AI. So no one even knows if it's real or not anymore. So it's becoming annoying because it doesn't seem like quality.
I have a question for you.
Go for gold.
At what point does it become so annoying that you stop using the platform?
As in ChatGPT?
No, as in any of your socials.
I kind of don't. It makes me just not go on socials. I'm kind of having a social break at the moment, to be honest with you.
Which ironically is probably making you more social.
I mean, can you get any more social than me? I'm probably one of the most social people you ever meet in your life. Jesus Christ.
I think
But yeah.
I think AI is here to stay. But my only thing is, I think very quickly governments need to protect art in all forms: literature, music, film, and TV, and even podcasters. And then as an audience, we need to make a stand and not go for the AI generated content. Otherwise, I think we'll look back at this time and reminisce about the time where people could make art and it was real and organic, and maybe full of mistakes or bad recording quality.
It's funny you say that, because now in email correspondence, the easiest way to tell, like, there are very easy tells whether someone is sending you an email that's been generated by AI. But one of the easiest ways to tell that it hasn't is if there's some typos, because that just doesn't happen with AI, right? And so, like, rather than having this kind of beige language that everyone is using, because they're just copying and pasting, I think it actually is opening up an opportunity for people's personalities to come further to the fore. The other thing that I constantly think about is, you know, that scene in WALL-E where the humans are like being like pushed around on beds, and like they have like a neck support to like lift their heads so that they can eat and drink. I kind of feel like we're heading in that direction.
Oh, 100%. Like I agree. Like I actually feel like social media, not now, but will die off, because social media is meant to make people social, and I feel like it's doing the opposite. Like if I'm going on social media and I'm posting something and people aren't liking it or sharing it, it's about news of your business or something that you're doing. Isn't that the whole point, that it's meant to be a community and stuff? But now it's turned into like, not that it's people are viewing it, but it's not social. And I don't know, it's hard to explain. I can't get it out what I'm trying to say, but I feel like it's doing the opposite. And I like the old school way of just meeting people in real life. And don't get me wrong, I still have social media. You kind of have to these days, because it's, you know, integrated with our jobs and stuff that we do. And you just have, it's a way of communicating.
Yeah, even our form of, like, we have group chats on Messenger. You need a social media to have the Messenger account, whether you use it or not. So even if you deactivate, it's like Facebook account.
You can deactivate your Facebook account, as in like put it into hibernation, and still have access to Messenger.
It still
and WhatsApp.
exists. You're not deleting it altogether. So you're kind of like trapped.
Yeah. How fascinating.
But AI, yeah, I think it's here. We already knew it. Movies like Terminator, like I'm telling you now, like the not to be a downer and stuff, but the human race will probably be gone from AI. But maybe that's a good thing. Humans are the ones that are killing everything on Earth. What's robots gonna do? Like what? Does robots eat anything? No.
Well, a lot of energy. I don't agree with humans a net negative on the planet. I think we definitely have negative behaviors, but I think overall and underpinning everyone is, or most people, is a genuine desire to do good. And so I suppose I look at it from like a systems level and think it's actually more just like an incentive structure that needs to be tweaked, rather than the existence of humanity in general.
No, don't get me wrong.
Can I just quickly tell a true tall tale about people wanting to do the right thing? This relates back to Bondi and connects to the rise of smartphones. So it's a quick tall tale of being put in a moral situation of what you do. So back into the Bondi days, when Sunny clarified we weren't actually poor, but I'll say I was Eastern Suburbs poor. It was around iPhone 3 and I hadn't had a smartphone yet. We had no internet in the house and I really wanted an iPhone. One day I was walking home to our place, and in the gutter, what do I find? A brand new iPhone, not one scratch, full of battery, unlocked. I take it home, I put my SIM card in, and it works. And for 1 hour, I am glorious and have an iPhone for the first time, taking photos. But then the moral.
That's what it's like back then, though. People don't realize how big iPhones were.
Yeah, it was like, I'm rich. This is amazing. Look what you can do. And then the moral hit. It's like, what do I do? Do I keep this? I've got an iPhone. It's unlocked. Do I keep it or do I do the right thing? I did the right thing.
Of course.
So I put the SIM card in. I called the person that was mum. I explained the situation where I
Like
live.
a smart call.
And then 3 hours later, a lady rocks up at my house, and she had a box of chocolates and $150 cash. And I was like, oh, I've got your phone. And she said, oh, as a thank you, I want to give you the box of chocolates and the $150. And I said, that's very kind, but I can't accept the gift because I have to tell you something. I put my SIM card on your phone and I really wanted to keep it. And for like an hour, I felt as though the iPhone was mine. And then I had to do the right thing. So I can't accept your money or your chocolates. And then she said, you can't do that. And I was like, I can because I made a bad choice. I kept your phone for an extra hour when I shouldn't have. And she then gave me a Jewish blessing and said,
Well, what does
now
that involve?
which were just really nice words in Hebrew about like basically I think this is 15, 16 years ago. It was like something got lost, but I brought it on its journey to do the right thing. I faced the wrong morals, but overall I made the right choice, so I'm a good person.
Ooh,
And
nice.
then she explained in English, so now if I reject the chocolates and the money, I've hurt her culture. And I'm like, I can't do this. So begrudgingly, I took the $150 and the chocolates. I shared the chocolates with Sunny and our friends that were
Did you?
there.
What chocolate was it?
I think they were Ferrero Rochers, maybe.
Ooh,
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
They were good. Like they were like rich golden.
So good
And
that
then-
sometimes you eat the foil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then this is where I'm like, did the blessing help me? Because I'm not a religious person. I'm an atheist for sure. But then I put the $150 in a book I used to hide money around the house for when I was poor. That's a poor person thing. Eastern suburbs poor. And then maybe about a week or 2 weeks later, a friend called me and was like, hey, I heard you want to buy an iPhone. My friend's selling a brand new iPhone 3 that they got on insurance, but they've upgraded to a 4 and they're selling it for $150. And
No.
then, yeah, that's how I got my first iPhone with the money that I got from a blessing when I wanted to keep it, and I only had to wait an extra week. So
There are so many life lessons in there for those of you who are earlier on in life than us. Just don't be a dickhead. do the right thing, and it will come back your way eventually.
I will still admit the glory of owning my first iPhone for 1 hour was pretty good.
I'm actually surprised because you're one of the most moral person that I know that you actually like put your SIM card in it and held it for an hour. I'm surprised you actually went that far. That's so not you to do that.
No,
Even
I think, but to be fair, I never used an iPhone 2. So at the same time with my SIM card in, I'm like, was it on a subconscious level? I was learning how to use it and how to call. Because I didn't want to call someone by accident and be like, I've got your phone, it be a random and then not be able to get the person the phone. And I was also like, I didn't want to walk to the police station to give a phone because then I didn't want to be embroiled in like, did I steal the iPhone? Like I didn't know what the person was going to be like.
Can I ask a historical question just to figure out what time this was? Had the first Lord of the Rings movie come out at that point?
Yes, but not the first Hobbit.
all I'm going to say is I must be like maybe it's me because you've been a housemate of mine. Ainsley was a housemate of mine, and that's 2 Apple products. So look what happened then with that Apple product, me being your housemate. Now, the second housemate that I've had was Ainsley. And when I lived with her, and we had the Rush Cutters Bay house, which is when I was neighbors with you. Sorry, I'm saying when people are living there, so don't say that. When I lived with Ainsley, an Apple laptop just appeared on our front door of our Rush Cutters Bay place. And Ainsley's like, oh, someone left a laptop at the front of the thing. And I said, oh, maybe someone sat down in our hallway, left it there, blah, blah, blah. She goes, yeah. So she did the right thing. She put a note up in our hallway saying, hey, someone's left their laptop. Come pick it up. Like you've left it on our front doorstep, blah, blah, blah. Had to sign up for a week. No one came and got it and stuff. Left the sign up, blah, blah. Took it inside. It's out at our house now for 2 weeks and stuff. So she ended up just keeping the computer. Like no one come back for it or anything like that. So she kept the computer. So the same thing, tried to do the right thing and stuff. So still to this day, we never knew how that ended up there or how she isn't that strange?
So it was in inside the building door. But outside your apartment.
So it's our actual front door, not on the outside. So
Yeah,
remember you went through the glass and you go to our front door? It was actually on our front door. And we even had that fake like cage thing, like the metal door that wasn't a screen. Like it was inside that as well. So we don't know. Like
maybe a neighbor thought it was yours and left it at your door.
Yeah, we don't know. Like leaving a sign, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was very strange, but still to this day, yeah, we never knew. That's 2 Apple products.
Did you get blessed before you got the app?
Yeah.
No, we didn't get blessed. So imagine you got blessed and you woke up the next day and you're circumcised. And you're like, I didn't ask for this.
It wasn't a blessing. It was like an assault.
Wait, that's not racist. No, that's a joke. I can joke about stuff like that. People do foreskin jokes all the time. Yeah. True.
You're all good.
Now I'm like, now I'm nervous. Like that I'm saying something wrong. Okay.
You're all good. In terms of everything that's being said in the world, I think that one ranks pretty lowly.
Yeah, true. So yeah, wait, how do we that was Liam's True Tall Tale.
Liam's just been dropping these tall tales.
No, dropping these.
Well, I'm trying to bring it back to the theme of the podcast. So
yeah, bring it back. So 2025. What else? What else is going on right now? Like, do you think World War III is I keep on seeing Instagram reels of people like faking to be injured and stuff if World War III happens and stuff like that. So that's trending at the moment.
Well, they've learned that from the president because that's what he did.
What's the president's name? Just because this is timestamp 2025.
He's shall not be named.
Donald Trump. Well, it's not. No, well, it's not our president. We're not American, but yeah,
we are aligned to them. So
yeah, are we though? Are we though? Are we now? No, we are.
We currently owe them billions of dollars that we have to pay them. Even if they don't give us the subs, we still have to give them the billions of dollars. So yeah, they kind of own us.
Okay, interesting.
I think
they can even build the subs and 24 hours before they give it to us, be like, "Hey, psych, we decided to keep it. Still got to pay us."
National
That's the
security.
deal we made. Yeah.
What were you saying, Dan?
Just that the next few decades, I kind of feel like 2025 will be seen when we look back as quite an inflection point where a lot of traditional alliances started coming to an end, which is like it seems like a strange thing to say, but to have 70 years effectively of global alliances is a pretty long time. Like it doesn't. There hasn't really been a time in history prior where so many countries have had close relationships. But I think the constant feedback or the constant phrase I hear from people recently is everything just feels like it's speeding up. Like no matter what topic you look at, it just seems like more is happening faster. And yeah, I'm fascinated to see how that all shakes out because it can't all keep speeding up forever. So it's like, what does the speeding up lead to? I think that will be, pretty fascinating.
What do you predict it? What do you predict it to be?
Well, my predictions for this time, like in the past, by 2025, I thought Australia would be debating becoming a republic from the Commonwealth.
Same.
That's probably not going to happen for another 25 years now, unfortunately.
I got to say, King Charles has done a pretty good PR job over the past few years because I was thinking like the Queen's going to die and Australia's going to be like, all right, we're waiting for her to pass and then we're going to become a republic. But I agree with you. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
Every time someone says King Charles, a song that pops in my head is "Daddy, would you like some sausages? Daddy, would you like some?" Have you seen Freddie Got Fingered with Tom Green? You know when his dad walks in, he's like, "Daddy, would you like some sausages?" Yeah. Because did you see the memes going around of like Prince Charles' fingers, how they look like sausages? I know that's mean. I'm not saying that, but that's why that song pops in my head.
I see.
Okay. I don't think Prince Charles needs your sympathy.
King Charles, Liam, thank you.
He might be your king. He's not mine.
Wait, what did I call him? King Charles? Yeah.
I called him Prince, and Dan caught my intentional slip of the tongue.
Got you. Look, my prediction is what Dan said as well. I think it is moving so fast that I feel like I can't keep up. Like every day that I wake up, like the most, and I'm not even talking about Donald Trump, but the most dramatic things happen, like a new country going to war, a new alliance. I feel like, the weather is getting worse, and people say that's because it's, social media and it's more accessible with the news, which I don't think that's true at all. I think, the caps are melting. Like, look at Texas, like with the floods and the rain, like lightning, like it's getting worse and worse. Exactly how they predicted it to be in the future. Now we are in the future of 2025. If you say that, electric cars is a normal thing. People don't even ride bikes anymore. It's electric bikes, AI. Everyone's using AI. These are all normal things where we can't even tell the difference of what's real and what's not real. That you can go in, they can put a video of me robbing a store and I can go to jail because they can just make me AI that I've done it. And they go, well, there's the video evidence and stuff. And I have to prove where I was. Like, that's a real living thing right now. And it's crazy. And you're right. It's moving so fast.
Well, to respond to both what you said, like time moving fast, Dan, and things being in crisis, Sunny. I work with young people, and to combat that, at the end of each day, I ask them what's their favorite thing for the day, but they understand that it doesn't need to be a big thing. Like, it can be small, like, someone opened the door for me, or one of my students one day was like, just as the day was about to be end, saw a willy wagtail and was like, hey, how cool is a willy wagtail bird? And this kid doesn't even like birds. And then for like 5 seconds, we watched this bird together, and then the bird flew away. And then she said spontaneously, that's my favorite thing for the day, watching the bird with you.
Nice.
So to combat the crazy world, I kind of just think, and when your day's been rough, if you can pinpoint one day that's one thing in the day that's been good, then the next day is not so scary.
Totally.
So what's your favorite thing for today, Dan and Sunny?
Oh, well, it actually it feeds into that, because I'm becoming more and more comfortable with looking for the good things rather than necessarily focusing on the bad things, and like just becoming a bit more pragmatic about the things that I can control and the things that I can't control. And I think a lot of people seem to be taking a step back from their inputs. So whether that be social media, whether that be reading the news, whatever it is. And I think I'm probably a part of that a little bit. And so I'd say today I had 3 meetings in a row. And this is my 4th meeting today with all highly engaged, highly intelligent people who have pretty optimistic views of the future. And so I think my highlight today was being surrounded by like-minded folk.
Yours was a long thing. What's your favorite thing, Sunny?
That was so sweet, Dan. It feels like I'm in a camp right now, like a religious camp, and everyone's sitting around the fire, and I feel really weird, and I've got to say nice things about people. No, I'm just joking. This is really nice, and it does. And it does.
Clearly the nice one. I'm like, oh, of course. I'm like, he catches a tiny moment. He's like, oh, like hours of people.
Mine is, I kind of got 2. So one of them would be, I was speaking to a client at work today, and the gentleman said to me, you've got, I know this sounds like egotistical, but I don't really get compliments a lot, and I'm not trying to play the victim, but he said, you've got a really nice, no, not so, he said, you've got a really good voice for radio, or you should do voiceovers. Has anyone told you how good your voice is? And I'm like, no, I always thought I had a real like voice. And he started laughing, and I was like, got off the phone, and I messaged my friend Laz, and I'm like, this client said I had a really good voice. And I think when you find out someone has said something nice about you, it makes you feel good, right? That's just a normal human reaction, because I think when someone says something bad about you and you hear that, people only tell you when someone says something bad about you, but no one goes around telling when someone said something nice about you. So that is part of my personality that I try to do a lot, where if Dan, you or Liam met one of my new friends and then they said, oh, my friend really, really liked you guys and stuff, and I told you that would make you feel good because you know you're a good person, but you made a good impression on someone that you just met. And I've told you that, but you wouldn't have known that unless I told you that. So when that happens, I try to do that all the time because it makes me people feel good.
Yep.
And in conclusion, I've always done this, Liam, which is like what you're doing at your work. I try to do something nice every day. If that's texting someone of a friend that I know, or someone that I don't really know well, or if I see them in real life, or if it's at my yoga class or anywhere, I just try to do something positive every day because it just makes me feel good because who knows where the world's going. So that sounds cliche as well, but that's part of my personality. And I'll shut up now. I've been talking for ages.
I like it. Liam, what's yours?
Mine's, it's going to be basic. But you know how for the last like 5 years, people have been able to have their driver's license on their phone?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
Mine never worked. And then finally I got around to calling Services New South Wales, also to fact check how much the fine was, but also, hey, can I get my card on? And the dude was really helpful. And it was a system error where my email and phone number, even though they could see I'd been saving it, didn't save. And once that happened, it did. And then the guy's like, thanks for not yelling at me. He's like, the last few people all day have been yelling. And I was like,
Wow.
oh, that's cool. So it was getting a
Aw.
compliment for not yelling at someone to put my driver's license on my phone. So I've now entered the digital realm of
I
driver's
also-
That's
license.
on you.
Like that is a lovely story. I think it also is another example of if you're calling someone up because you need help with something that their company or organization offers, don't
Yes.
be a dick. Like, just be nice. Like that. They will try to help you. It is literally their job.
That is so true. And anyone that knows, if you're calling something customer service for your internet, whatever, you got a fine or something, be nice and they'll want to help you. Like that guy that said to you, Liam, like for him to say that to you, that he's so sad. That means he must have the worst day, that it's happening on every call. People are yelling at him. Like, if I was him and it was my last day and I'm like, are you yelling at me? Well, you need my fucking help. What about I just hang up on you? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to have to call back. Do you want to call back or do you want me to help you? You know what I mean? Like,
Do you want to call back? I can put you on hold for another 45 minutes.
I know. You know what? I've always said, don't you reckon there should be a day that you're allowed to say whatever you want without getting fired or having any repercussions?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Like, where would you start? Like, would you be at work? Do you go to people that you've always wanted to say stuff to? Like, where do you go to use that 24 hours of that?
No, I think it would be, when would you stop? Like, once you start, when do you stop?
Right. True. And then do they all remember that you said it the next day? Or do they not have a memory, or does no one have a memory of it? What would you rather?
Maybe like the purge, it's just 24 hours and then it's gone.
Yeah. Wait, speaking of that sidetrack, there is a restaurant in America, of course there is in America, that the waiters and the servers can say anything they want to the customers. I would have loved to work there. You have no idea. I actually want to go there.
They had that in Australia. They had those
Did
restaurants.
they? Where?
Like they were called the Karens, and they would be rude to you. And then eventually,
are you serious?
Yeah, the customer service, they were really rude and like would swear and yell at you. But eventually, one got closed down because the customer didn't like what the staff said. But it's like you went to a Karen restaurant to be yelled at and sworn at.
Funny.
But yeah,
I would love to interview a Karen on the show to say, when was it the day that you found out that Karen become a worldwide, international, global phenomenon, that like having the name Karen, like, did you stop complaining? Like, you know what I mean? Like, when did that become a thing and worldwide? And having the name Karen, did it make you feel like you weren't allowed to complain anymore? And if you did, you'd be embarrassed and be shut down, Maybe I should ask George. George's mum's name's Karen.
You think it's funny that like a lot of people change their last names, but hardly anyone changes their first names. I wonder if there's any Karens who changed their first name.
Sonny changed his a few times.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true.
I don't know. Do you reckon there would have been Karens out there that changed their name from that happening, Dan? Probably. It is the world. The world's big.
Just nickname it, probably, like Kaz. Yeah.
Well, when I was hanging out with Luke last weekend, he told me that he didn't have a middle name. I did not know that. Did you guys know that?
Yes.
Oh, and he said, and what was his word? He goes, why do we need a middle name? Like, what does it do? Like, it's just, I forget what he said. It was really funny and it was so true the way he said it.
Well, but
So when you're getting in trouble off your parents, that's when you start
yes,
saying it.
but I think where it originally came from was because there were so many Pauls, Johns, Marks, Lukes, whatever. They then had to have a middle name to, call out individual kids.
I reckon when you get older, you should be able to choose your middle name.
Well, what
If
are
that
you
was-
choosing? What are you choosing?
Mine would be Levi. The only reason I say that, you probably don't know this, is when I was 14 and going to parties and meeting girls and stuff, I always hated my name Sunny.
Really?
Always. It's cool now, but I hated it when I was younger. And I don't know if you guys ever wanted another name, and I always wanted my name. I don't know. I must have been watching a Nickelodeon show or something. I think that's where I got it from. And the American guy's name was Levi, and I thought that was the coolest name. But when I would tell someone that, I'd actually lower my voice and also change my accent a little bit to an American accent. Like, what's your name? I'm like, Levi. Like, I'm not even joking. Is that not crazy?
You were destined to go into acting, Sonny.
Oh, really? What would you guys want your middle name to, if you had the choice to change it to something else?
I like Millhouse.
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
Actually?
Yeah.
Are you being sarcastic again?
I feel like if I had to choose a Simpsons character that I identify with, as a fellow glasses wearer, it was really the only representation that I saw on screen growing up.
Wait, you're definitely being sarcastic. Okay. Wow. Wow.
Although from now on, I'm going to refer to him as Millhouse, so he can eat his sarcasm.
I was like, he's the worst character.
It's all coming up, Millhouse.
Yeah. Liam, what would your middle name be?
I would go with something random, like an animal name, like Kookaburra or something. Just so then, when people ask, they'll never know if you're telling the truth or not.
I like that. That's
and
good.
like a little bit trolly, and then when where did you get it from? And I'm just like, that's just always been. Or because I'm annoying like a kookaburra, like the sound of my voice is sort of jarring, maybe.
The first bird I saw as a baby was a kookaburra.
Yeah, and they haunt you ever since.
That is so funny.
No, protect.
Hey, being in 2025, what are your thoughts about TV, the talk show host Stephen Colbert being let go or fired?
It was fired.
It was definitely
fascist regime.
Yeah.
Paramount paid hush money to not sue them, and they want he got a bribe. He got a $16 million bribe, and probably part of the deal was to fire the talk show host.
Well, but also it's like Paramount's about to sell for $8 billion. I think it's like
$16 million is loose change.
It's a blip. And also, I mean, like it's terrible, but I think Colbert will pop up on another platform and do very, very well.
Wait, Paramount's being bought out by who?
Skydance. Yeah, which is a production.
They're British company?
No, American. It's the son of Larry Ellison, who started Oracle.
Oh, okay. I don't even know what Oracle is, but
like
in the Matrix.
Software platform that got big in the 90s. But they're massive. Like they're used by most large corporations around the world.
Because I was going to say, Liam, before, because I know you always stick up for the little man or whatever it's called, whatever that saying is. But obviously get rid of your Paramount Plus, because I use your Paramount Plus after the Gilded Age season 3 is finished, and then you can get rid of it.
No, Sonny, I thought about this, and I'm on a budget tier, and I've shared it with like 10 people. So
I know. How is it working? I've seen all the names on there. My name's Rothschild's on there.
Yeah, I'm constantly sharing that password, and literally since then I've shared it with a few more people. So if anyone needs a Paramount Plus free subscription, DM True Tall Tales, and I'll share my login to.
You're the only person I know that has Paramount, by the way.
Yeah, I forget what I even There was some show that I wanted to watch, and once you subscribe, you just don't unsubscribe. So
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
share the passwords.
Jimmy Fallon actually had a pretty funny joke about that the other night. He was like, millions of people are so upset that Colbert's show is finishing, and so are tens of hundreds of people on Paramount Plus.
Well, Kimmel probably also knows he's probably the next to go. So
Right, really. I love Jimmy Fallon. He's someone that I could see myself being friends with in real life.
yeah, I give him 6 months max.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
So what, like, oh no, that's not good. Isn't that like, yeah. So where do what talk shows will we have? None.
They'll just move to online. Like the online platforms are getting way more viewership anyway.
Like how we watch the news and stuff like that, like Midas Touch and things like that. Yeah, true. Right. Yeah, but who wants to watch the news on YouTube? I mean, not the news, sorry, the talk shows. Like, will they get their
these
own?
days you watch talk shows on snippets anyway. You
Yeah.
look up the interview
okay.
that you want to watch. Like, have you ever watched the full episode, or did you just watch the part that you want to watch?
Of the talk shows?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Like, I just watched, like, on YouTube, the person they interviewed. Yeah, you're right. True.
Like, which politicians on which band, which movie,
Opening
which skit,
monologue.
or which bands perform live and done a cool live performance.
True. There was one, was it Future Islands? When they were on maybe Fallon, and they like really got into it.
No, it was Letterman. It was Letterman.
Was it Letterman?
Towards the end. Letterman's like, give me all of that. I'll eat all of that right up. I think that was his quote. That was the rise of Future Islands.
Yeah. Very, very good.
What's your prediction for the next 10 years then of what's happening now if it's going that fast? Or is that a big call that we really... Wait, before we get to that, what's your thoughts on the CEO getting caught having an affair at the Coldplay concert? I mean, not that that's important on 2025, but it did make a... when they show clips of 2025 on things that happened the year, that's definitely one that's going to be, because everyone's copying. What's it called? Like a meme?
Yeah,
the biggest meme.
Like, remember the water cooler moment or water cooler show?
Yeah. What water cooler?
You know, like what you talk about watching it in real time, like Game of Thrones, or everyone's watching the same thing. Now, media is so fragmented. This is something that everyone could enjoy at the same time and talk about. So it was a nice reprieve from what's going on in the world.
And especially because it's been so long since something non-politics related broke through to so many different people's algorithms.
And then the people that got hurt will get millions of dollars to compensate their pain. So,
like the wives, and the husband of the other lady. But she was HR. I didn't realize she was HR. Did you know that?
Yeah.
And he was a CEO.
Yeah.
No, that makes it even, like, you can't even write that shit. Like, and sorry, to go back to what you were saying, Liam, just quickly, you know that feeling which everyone's done once in life where you send a text message to the person that you're talking about, like to someone else, and you're like, fucking, you said it to that person? That's how it would have been for him of seeing himself on the big screen. Could you imagine the feeling that went through his head? Like, oh my God.
The feeling that went through his head was, how many millions is this going to cost me?
Oh, right. What, he thought of money straight away, not even his wife?
100%. He wasn't. Yeah. He was having an affair, taking his side piece to Coldplay. He wasn't thinking about his wife, Sonny.
Yeah, that's so true. No, you're so right, and you're so right. Like, if you're having an affair, you're going to such a public thing like that. Anyone could have seen him. So you know what? Yeah, that's so true. That's so true.
Do you know? Apparently, the head of PR for the company who organized the team night out was fired.
Oh, really?
Someone's got to get blamed.
Oh, really? Yeah, true. Oh, God. What was he the CEO for? NASA?
No,
AI company.
But also, he specialized in data, so it's kind of funny that his personal data is now
true. That he didn't forecast this risk.
Hey, when you meet people now and they say they work in crypto, what would their job be Monday to Friday if someone says they work in crypto? Do any of you know that? I just want to know. And that's also 2025 of the world we're living in.
Reading, looking at spreadsheets.
Yeah, or trading. Most likely trading.
Like stocks?
Yeah, okay. So like at crypto assets, basically trying to make as much of a margin between what they bought it for and what they're selling it for.
Do you think that's going to replace currency in the future or no?
No.
Based on what?
The
COVID.
detrimental impact that it would have on society, because the reason why the price of Bitcoin has gone so high is there's very limited supply of it in general. And I understand why people believe that it will become the de facto currency, but I don't agree with it, because the social upheaval that would come about from a government putting that into practice, yeah, I mean, like it just will not work.
So the people that have it, is it bad? Not bad, but are they holding it on for nothing? Like it's just a phase that's going to phase out type of thing, or do you think it will stick around?
I think it'll stick around and have some utility. I just don't think it's going to take over the way that the biggest believers in it think it's going to take over.
I think people are too country proud to let their money go.
Yeah. Right.
It's why there's countries that won't get rid of coins that are obsolete, and it's why Australia struggled to get rid of the 5-cent coin, which I think currently costs more money to make than it's worth.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I remember the 1 cent, 2 cent coin. Remember those?
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You weren't alive for that.
I know, but I remember seeing it. It was bronze.
It still existed.
Really?
Yeah, when they phase money out, you can still use it for a while. Like, they stopped making it, and then it
but I thought it went out of circulation in like the 60s or 70s.
It was around.
No?
It's around in the 90s.
What?
Yeah, I remember seeing it. Like is it 1 cent and 2 cents? Yeah, it's 1 cent and 2 cents because it's below the 5 and it was like bronze.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Someone can fact check that.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, maybe I was wrong. I was like super young.
Maybe it's the Mandela effect.
Yeah, true. I could be wrong.
We held a coin in like maths in primary school. We're like, we spent this at the canteen, but really we're just like counting up to 5.
So let's end the episode on something for a fine print of 2025. What could be a good little, if this is, it was us three are now living in 2025. People can look at this episode in 20 years from now, because podcasts didn't exist years ago. Now there's all these podcasts that are just digital that's going to exist on the internet that people can go back in time and listen to. Hello, people listening to this in the future, by the way. I hope I'm alive.
I think if you're young, I think my advice would be, if you're young, once or twice, go to a gig, but where you all leave your phone at home.
Oh, that's good.
Like,
and take ecstasy. No, just joking. By the time, in 20 years from now, it'll be like ecstasy that they can take that isn't bad for you. It's like a little chip that they put in their arm or something. You know what I mean? Like,
just go and even where you have to have a meeting spot and just focus on the night and problem solve. Like, it'll be fun. If you go in a large enough group, you'll lose people and come back, and then when you meet back at the starting point, you'll have a million stories to tell.
I agree.
Yeah, I really like that. Like, do a night or a trip without Google Maps.
Yeah,
no phones, and just human interaction of conversations and getting to know people. But I really love that.
Maybe take a Polaroid or a camera for some mementos. But just go to a gig, or if you're too scared to do that, a movie at the very least.
I've got one. Create a mixtape for your friends, because Liam always does that, and it's so fun, and it's like it's such a time capsule in and of itself.
Like actually on a tape, or how would they do it?
Oh, you could make it as a Spotify playlist or an Apple playlist if you would like.
That's so cute.
But only, am I right? 13 songs, 13 song limit.
Depends. Yeah. I used to look at the time lengths to try and fit more in.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, like what mood did I want? And you'd always have your first song and your outro, and then you have to try and mix in the middle. That's how I would do it.
Make me a playlist, Lily. I think as well as for me, did I go? Am I having another go? I don't think I went. I think just to there's nothing better to listen to people and to be seen, to be heard, and also to listen to someone else and just to converse and talk. And that's why I do True Tall Tales. That's why we're here now. I just love human interaction of just like hearing people's stories, and vice versa, just sharing. It's like a tennis match, right? It feels good. It's like a natural dopamine hit to share stories and get to know each other. Just that would be it. People aren't doing that anymore from social media and things like that. I really just like human connection.
Yes. I think also when you live close to friends, really appreciate that, because it's not always going to be that way.
Yeah, no, you don't realize that at the time.
Yeah, like if you can walk to your friend's house within 5 minutes, like every time you do that walk, appreciate it. Or if all you have to do is get on the 333, like appreciate that. That's a pretty easy trip.
Or I did hear Orlando Bloom today say, sorry, Liam. I did hear Orlando Bloom today say, in an interview, when you hang out with someone, have the best time ever, because you don't know if it's going to be the last time you see them. And I feel like I do that naturally, but it's so true. Yeah. It's so true. I think
that was the house we fostered in Bondi. Like there was a time, Dan, where Sonny and I were like sitting on the couch and chatting. It was like a Wednesday night, and we're like, what's so weird? It took us half an hour to figure out what was weird in the house. And we said, this is the first time, and we checked in 9 months that there wasn't something going on, like a mini party or a get together, where in 8 to 9 months there was only 2 of us in the house at one time.
Wow.
And then we agreed it was fun, but we're like, we need another 6 months of partying for one. we were having those moments every day.
That's so funny.
What a great way to end the show. I know you two need to go to bed, not together, separately. You're on 2 different locations, but I know, well, Liam, you're a night owl, I'm a night owl, Dan's not a night owl, but that's okay. One day. But thank you so much for coming on the show and just talking to me and just hanging out like this. And for the listeners listening and hearing this imprint of 2025 of just a real conversation of us discussing what's going on and us three having a human connection. I appreciate it. It's always a dopamine hit to talk to 2 of my best friends, and when I get off the phone, I can sleep better tonight, like I've just watched a Disney film. Thank you so much. I'm sure the listeners always love hearing both of you. I know I do, and you're more than welcome to come on the show anytime with anything to do this again, because this will exist forever on the internet. And so thank you. You can listen back to this when you're 80 or 100 and have a giggle, and you'll always have that moment that a lot of people don't have.
How good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Love you.
Yeah. Thank you. No problem.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.